Rajeshwari MJ. She pursued her BE in Electrical and Electronics at the People's Education Society College of Engineering, Mandya. She pursued her MTech in VLSI Design and Embedded Systems at the Sri Jagadguru Balagangadharanta Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Her personal skills lie in good verbal and written communication skills. Her areas of interest lie in OOPS with C++, renewable energy sources, HVDC transmission, digital relays, automotive electronics, advances in VLSI design. She has also had papers presented at the national level, such as the Innovative Architecture for SoC Multi-Core Hybrid Processor, presented at the RNSIT, Bangalore.
Welcome to UGC lecture series of BSc Physics Honours. Today we are going to deal with the subject, that is electronic devices. In this session we are going to concentrate on the topic bipolar junction transistor, and some of the topics that we are going to study in this session bipolar junction transistor are NPN and PNP transistor. NPN and PNP transistors are two types of transistor of that is bipolar junction transistor, and also we are going to study about transistor operation and characteristics of common base configuration. The configurations of a transistor will be of three types. One is common base, and another one is common emitter, and last one is common collector. So, in this session we are going to concentrate only on about common base configuration. So, let us start with the bipolar junction transistor structure. So, we have to know what does a bipolar junction transistor means. So, the BJT stands for bipolar junction transistor. Bipolar in the sense we are going to consider both hole and electron into the content, that we are going to concentrate on the both electron and hole movement in the device. That is why it is called as bipolar, and the junction it stands for because there are two junctions. It is made up of two NPN, two types of two diodes are formed together, joined together to form PNP and NPN transistor, and it is going to form two junction, that is NP and PN junction. So, this is why it is called as bipolar junction transistor. And the BJT structure consists of three layers. It is consist of three terminals, that is named as emitter, base and collector, and also the doping is different for these three layers. The doping for emitter, base and collector will be different. For emitter it is heavily doped, and for the base it is lightly doped, and for collector it is moderately doped. So, the doping also different for the three terminals. So, here in the picture we can observe that the basic epitaxial planar structure of a transistor, where there are three terminals that already said, that is collector, base and emitter is present, and also the metallized contact and oxide layer is also present. We can observe with the structure of transistor. Next we are going to know about the NPN and PNP structure. So, this is how the NPN structure looks, and these are the three terminals, that is collector, base and emitter, which is I already said emitter is heavily doped and the base is lightly doped and the collector is moderately doped. Since it is a bipolar junction transistor, these are the junction where it is formed inside the transistor. The junction is here when NP is joined together, the junction formed in between this collector and base is called base collector junction. This is called base collector junction, and when this PN junction is formed, there is a junction that is formed between the terminal base and emitter, and this junction is called base emitter junction. So, similarly this can also be represented in another type of transistor, that is PNP transistor. So, this is how the PNP transistor, there is two P type material sandwiched between the N type material, and this also having three terminals, that is emitter, base and collector. So, the term bipolar refers to, because we are going to use holes and electron flow as a current for the current direction. For current direction, we are for study of current direction, we are going to consider both electron and hole movements. So, that is why it is called as bipolar, and these are the physical structure and two diode analogy and also circuits with the current convention that we are going to make throughout the study of the transistor is studied here. This is a PNP transistor. This and also this is NPN transistor with 3 terminals, and this is important, that is two diode analogy, where we can observe from the PNP transistor which is having PN, this can form one diode, and NP, this also form another diode. So, this can be written in a diode format. So, using a diode, the transistor can be written, that is why it is called two diode analogy. Two diode can be connected in this fashion to make it as to work as a transistor, and these are the terminals, 3 terminals of a transistor. Similarly, the same another type of transistor can be also written in a two diode analogy, like NP forms one diode and PN forms another diode, and this can be connected in this fashion to form a NPN transistor. So, this is very important, the circuit symbols. This is what the current flow direction that we are going to consider for studying of transistor throughout the session. This is the PNP transistor, this where we always observe the current flow here. This is a symbol of transistor. The current flow here is towards base, pointing in, that is what we can remember for a PNP transistor. The emitter current is pointing inwards, that is why it is called PNP transistor, and this voltage across emitter and collector is VCE, and the voltage across emitter and base is VEB, and also voltage across base and collector is called VCB, and this is a base current. The direction of flow we need to remember, the base should be like this and the collector will be like this. So, for NPN it is a reverse, the current flow is entirely opposite to that of PNP transistor. It is for NPN, not pointing in is how we can remember the current flow. The emitter current is not pointing inwards, it means it is pointing outwards. The emitter current is pointing outwards here, and the collector current is flowing in this direction, and the base current is flowing in this direction. Similarly, the voltage across emitter and collector will be VCE, and the voltage across emitter and base will be VEB, and the voltage across base and collector will be VCB. So, this is very important, the direction current flow, which is helpful for further study. So, next we move on to transistor operation. So, it is very important how the current electrons, majority carriers and minority carriers inside the transistor will flow when we are going to give an external voltage. So, very first things that we are consider for operation of transistor is PNP transistor that we consider. Here we consider 3 cases. For the first case, that is where we consider the forward bias junction of PNP transistor by giving only the emitter voltage. When the emitter voltage is given across this PN junction and the base, that is base voltage is removed. When the base voltage is removed, that is when the emitter voltage is given and the collector voltage is removed, then the PN junction is said to be forward bias, and the majority carrier in the P is hole that is moving towards N, and it is crosses the junction where we can observe the depletion region is become very thin. So, that the current flow occurs here and the emitter current flows through the depletion and layer, and it is crosses the depletion layer where we can say the majority carriers holes is moving in this direction. So, similarly, the next case that we consider, NP junction is in reverse bias due to the application of collector voltage and removing the emitter voltage. When we are going to remove the emitter voltage, this NP junction becomes reverse bias due to the depletion region, increase of the depletion region. The majority carrier that's moved from P to N, here it becomes a minority carriers, that is the holes that what we consider in this N type materials is a minority carriers. This is a symbol of minority carriers direction, movement of minority carriers. It is moving in this direction and the current flow is here very low, and we can say it is too small, and now we can say the NP junction here it is in reverse biased condition. So, next we consider another case, that is where when we consider both emitter voltage is also given and the collector voltage is also given, what will going to happen for the circuit inside the structure, what is the carrier and what is the majority and minority carriers movement. So, very first thing that we know, for the PN junction, if we give the emitter voltage, this PN junction becomes forward biased and the flow of current will be due to the majority carriers that is present in P type, that is holes, will move and crosses the junction, that is this PN junction where it is very thin. This is the thick arrow mark, it shows the majority carrier direction, it is flowing across, and here the onward direction is there, is downward. This is due to the recombination where base current is formed due to the majority carried holes. Some holes will going to form a recombination here, which will going to form a very small base current and it will flows in this direction. And also some of the minority carrier that present in N material, due to the reverse bias of NP junction, when the collector voltage is connected, the minority carrier in the N type material, that is holes, will crosses the P material to be and the depletion region is very high here. This will going to be causes due to the injection, and also the majority carrier which is present in the N type material which crosses the junction and it reaches the P type material, it is due to the diffusion process. So, we can say the collector current here which is formed due to both that is minority carrier and the majority carrier. So, we can say the collector current is the sum of minority carrier current and also majority carriers current. So, this is what we can observe in the P type material, the collector current is very high here and is the emitter current flow, and the base current you can observe here, it is very small compared to the emitter and collector current. So, the from this transistor operation, we need to remember some of the things with the transistor operation, that how the majority and minority carriers moves in two different condition when the junction, one junction is forward biased and another junction is reverse biased. So, majority carriers can cross reverse biased junction because the injected majority carriers will appear as minority carriers in the N type materials. That is what I said, because of this injected majority carrier will appear as the N type material, we can say there is some flow of current inside the NP junction when it is made as reverse biased. So, applying KCL to the transistor, this is a formula that we get, IE is equal to IC plus IB, that is emitter current is always equal to sum of collector current and base current. And also we know that while studying the operation, we come to know that collector current is consists of two components, that is IC majority, the current due to the majority carrier, and also current due to the minority carrier. This forms the collector current, and also ICO, that is this current, that is ICO minus IC, current with emitter terminal open, and it is called as leakage current. So, this is called as a leakage current when we say that the another junction is reverse biased by keeping the emitter voltage, emitter terminal open. When we say that another terminal is reverse biased, by that time that ICO minus IC gives the leakage current, because very small current will be flowing due to the minority carriers, that is what is called as leakage current. So, next we move on to the bipolar transistor configurations. So, in the bipolar transistor configuration, there are three types of bipolar configurations. The one is common base configuration, another one is common emitter configuration, and the last one is common collector combination. So, all these configuration is due to how we are going to connect, how we are going to bias the bias a transistor. It depends on this transistor configuration. So, we are going to concentrate in this session on common base configuration, the very first configuration, and also we remember how the common base configuration it is having a it has only voltage gain, but no current gain. So, we need to remember when we are going to connect the transistor in a common base configuration, we can work the transistor which is having only voltage gain and there is no current gain. And also when common emitter configuration is there and it has both current gain and voltage gain. So, for common emitter configuration we get both voltage and current gain. So, common collector configuration it has current gain, but no voltage gain. So, these are the factors we need to remember for different configuration of transistor. So, let us start with the common base configuration. So, for common base transistor configuration, the transistor should be connected in such a fashion that the base should be common for both input signal and as well as output signal. And also one of the thing we need to remember is the base should be nearer, and also we can say or it is grounded, the base is grounded, then that type of connection or configuration is called as common base configuration. So, these are the two things that we need to remember for common base configuration, that is base is common to both input and output of the configuration, and also base is usually the terminal closest to or at ground potential. So, these are the two things that we need to remember for a common base configuration. And also the whatever the convention of current that we made is due to the whole flow, the direction of whole flow, that is what we are taken as a current flow, direction of current flow throughout the study of this transistor characteristics. And also while applying the bias or applying the voltage, while biasing the transistor we need to remember that the voltage should create a current in such a way that how we are going to how we are already assumed the conventional flow of current, in that fashion only the current has to flow. So, in the biasing should not affect this current flow direction. So, this is how the PNP and NPN transistor when we are going to connect in a common base configuration, it looks like this, where the base terminal is grounded and it is common for both input and as well as output. So, here the current emitter current is flowing in this direction and the collector current is flowing in this directions, and this is the terminals for collector voltage and emitter voltage. The polarities should be like this only for the flow of current from emitter to collector. The flow of current will be from emitter to collector. This thick arrow mark will always shows the majority carrier flow and thin will be the minority carrier flow that we already discussed in transistor operation. So, here also we can say that IE is equal to IC plus IB is what the current emitter current, and this can also be represented like this with the current direction symbol. IB is flowing in this direction, it is grounded, so it is flowing in this direction, and IE is where the PNP transistor we know pointing inwards, the emitter should be pointing inwards for PNP transistor. So, it is pointing inwards and the collector it is moving above. So, IE is equal to IB plus IC, it follows here also. So, for NPN it is a reverse of PNP, the direction of current will be reverse. So, the majority and minority carrier flow is also reverse here. The same thing that we are going to follow for the NPN, that is the polarity should be connected in such a way that it has to follow the conventional current flow that we have assumed. So, this is the way that we need to connect the emitter voltage and the collector voltage. So, this can also be represented like this with the base is grounded and the base current it is moving in this direction and it is NPN. So, the emitter is not pointing inwards, so it is moving away, it is moving downwards, and the collector current is moving like this. From collector to emitter the current flow will be, but here from emitter to collector the current flow will be, and also the emitter current is a sum of collector and base current. So, now we are going to study about the characteristics of a common base configuration. So, it is gives the exact behavior how the common base configuration works. So, to describe the behavior we need to know two set of characteristics, that is one is input characteristics or driving point characteristics, and second one is output or collector characteristics. So, the output characteristics it consists of three regions. This is important things, that is for output characteristics where we find the active region, this can always defined by biasing arrangement. The biasing arrangement will give the active region property. So, we can study the active region, or this is the region where we can say the transistor will operate as an amplifier. And also cutoff region, this is the region we can say here with the figure, in the cutoff region we can say that is the collector current is 0. When the collector current is 0, we can say that region as a cutoff region, and the saturation region is this region where to the left of a VCB, where VCB is equal to 0. When VCB is equal to 0, that region is called a saturation region. So, we will study in detail now with observing the characteristics. When the input characteristics, in the sense when the emitter current is plotted across the voltage and base to emitter voltage for different range of values of collector to base voltage. For different values of collector to base voltage, we will get the input characteristics in such a way that for initially, for when we are going to vary the base to emitter voltage, there is no increase in emitter current. So, the current is 0 till here, we can say it is 0 for some values like 0.5 volts, it is 0. After some volts, like more than 0.5 volts, that is when we are going to increase the base to emitter voltage, the emitter current is increases. It is the emitter current is always measured in milliamps, it is increased like this for different collector to base voltage, that is we need to keep the collector to base voltage constant. So, whenever we keep some collector to base voltage constant, so by varying the base to emitter, this base to emitter we need to remember the configuration. So, base to emitter will be the input voltage, and the emitter to emitter current is the input current. That is why input current versus input voltage, by keeping the constant output voltage, which gives the input characteristics. So, next we move on to the output characteristics, where we are going to plot a graph across output current and output voltage by keeping a different range of values of input current. So, this is how when we are going to plot the output characteristics, the waveform the graph will be, and the graph shows 3 regions. The regions that already discussed, that is one is active region, this is the active region, and this is the saturation region, and this is the cutoff region. So, the cutoff region is a region where IE is 0, IE is completely 0, that region is called as cutoff region, and we can say that in this region the transistor is in off condition. And this is the saturation region. In the saturation region, that is VCB, that is collector to base voltage is 0 here, and also we can say the name itself saturation, in the sense the maximum value. So, when the emitter or emitter current reaches a maximum value, that portion is called as a saturation region. In this condition, that emitter current reaches a maximum value. And also in active region, this is a region where we can observe for different range of collector current, the different range of emitter current, the collector current is almost constant, it is almost a straight line. So, it is constant here, this region it is called as active region, and this is a region that where we can expect the transistor working as a amplifier. So, from studying the characteristics, we divide this output characteristic, we divide 3 regions as active region, saturation region and cutoff region. So, what are the things that we need to remember? In active region is the emitter current increased, the collector current is also increased, and also the base to emitter junction is forward biased and collector to base junction is reverse biased in the active region. And also refer to the graph, we can also observe that IC is approximately equal to IE, that is what we can observe here. We can say here IC is approximately equal to IE. So, this is 2 milliamps, we can observe here IC is 2 milliamps. So, we can say IC and IE is approximately equal in this characteristics, that is output characteristics in the active region. So, and also IC naught, that is collector current naught, depends on VCB. So, the VCB, that is collected to base voltage, we can vary, that should not affect the collector or current. So, collector current will not be affected by the by varying values of collector to base voltage, and also suitable region for transistor working as an amplifier. This we have to remember for the active region. So, when it is comes to the saturation region, this is how the behavior of the transistor. So, base to emitter and collector to base junction is forward bias here, and a small changes in collector to base voltage will cause big difference to collector current. This is important thing we need to remember in a saturation region, and also the allocation for this region is to the left of VCB, that is when the collector to base voltage is 0. So, last region is cutoff region, that is the region which is below the, that is emitter to current, emitter current is 1 is it is equal to 0, that below region is called as cutoff region. And also here the base to emitter and collector to base is reverse biased in cutoff region, and also no current flow at collector, only leakage current, only very small nano, or we can say microamps of current can flow in this cutoff region, and also we can say the transistor will be in off mode in a cutoff region. The curves that clearly indicates that a first approximation relationship between that IE and IC in the active region, that is equal to IC is approximately equal to IE here. We already observed from the output characteristics, that is from approximation relationship we can say that first approximation relationship, that we can say IC is approximately equal to IE, and also once the transistor is on state, the base emitter voltage will be assumed to be VB is equal to 0.7 voltage. From input characteristics that we note down that for till some voltage there will be no current, after VB is reaching some values only we can say the transistor is on. So, VB is equal to 0.7 volts is the voltage that when we say the transistor will be in on state. So, some of the things that we observe, we need to know about the common base configuration is, that is the current gain factor. So, in DC mode the level of IC and IE due to the majority carriers are related by quantity called alpha. So, alpha is called as the current gain here, and it is ratio of collector current to emitter current, and this is how, because the collector current is equal to alpha times of emitter current plus ICBO. This collector to base current is when the emitter is open, current is flowing in collector to base. This is very small, so this can be neglected. So, if we neglect this, alpha is equal to IC divided by IC is what the value. And also for AC situation where the point of operation moves on the characteristics curves, and AC alpha is defined by delta IC divided by delta IE. So, this is for a small change of IC and ratio between the small change of IC and IE. So, alpha is what a common base current gain factor that shows the efficiency by calculating the current percent from current flow from emitter to collector. So, this is by calculating this we can say the efficiency can be with the help of this alpha, that is current gain factor. So, the value is usually we can consider is about 0.9 to 0.998. So, the biasing for a transistor can be made with the assumption that is from first approximation, that is IC is approximately equal to IE where IB is equal to 0. So, here in the figure we can observe that IB is open circuited. If we make this, the biasing will be easier, and where the current can be flowed from for a PNP from emitter to collector, and for NPN from collector to emitter by making the IB is equal to 0. So, finally, we come up with the current gain factor for a common base configuration, that is it is the ratio of collector current to emitter current, and also we know how the biasing is important for a transistor. So, biasing will be done with the first approximation that we have made with the help of common base configuration, that is when we are going to consider the base current is 0. The current flow can be easily made and the biasing can be easily made for a transistor. Some of the questions of this session are: what is the major difference between a bipolar and a unipolar device? Describe the PNP transistor operation with majority and minority carrier flow. Which are the types of BJT configuration? Explain the common base configuration. References are www.allaboutscircuits.com, www.electronicstutorial.com, and the textbook references are Electronic Devices and Circuit Theory by Robert Boylestad and Louis Nashelski, and also Electronic Circuits and Devices by Alan Montesquieu. This ends the session. Thank you.